Venerable Bhagineyyasangharakkhita, who hit his uncle, a Buddhist monk, with a fan. Venerable Sangharakkhita decided to enter the monkhood after listening to Sammasambuddha's Dhamma lectures. And only a few days after entering the monkhood, he was able to attain arahatship. Sometime later, the Arahat's brother came with his son to visit the Arahat. He wanted his son to be ordained a Buddhist monk by the Arahat. As a Buddhist monk, the nephew was given the name Bhagineyyasangharakkhita, which meant the nephew of Venerable Sangharakkhita. Later, the newly ordained monk bade his uncle farewell in order to spend the rains retreat at a temple near a certain village. There he was offered 2 high-quality pieces of cloth by the lay people. One piece of cloth was 3.5 meters long, and the other piece was 4 meters long. He had in mind to offer the longer piece to his uncle upon returning to the Jethawan temple. Finding that his uncle had not yet returned to the temple, Venerable Bhagineyyasangharakkhita spent the time waiting for his uncle's arrival, cleaning his uncle's dwelling, arranging his seat cushion, and filling his water container with drinking water. When the Arahat returned to his dwelling, Venerable Bhagineyyasangharakkhita went to relieve him of his alms bowl, asked him to sit down so that he could wash his feet and wipe them dry. He then made an offering of the longer piece of cloth to the Arahat by placing it at the Arahat's feet before standing to one side to fan the Arahat with a large palm leaf fan with a long handle. Venerable Sangharakkhita told his nephew that he already had enough saffron robes and he wanted his nephew to keep the cloth for himself. Still, Venerable Bhagineyyasangharakkhita insisted that his uncle accept the offered cloth, but to no avail. His feelings were hurt, and he began to think about leaving the monkhood. By this time, he had allowed his thoughts to run away with him. He thought how he could sell both pieces of cloth and use the money to buy a pregnant goat. Afterward, he could sell the kid goat and start making some money so that he could marry and have a family. He could then bring his family to visit his uncle. In his daydream, he was arguing with his wife about who should carry their child and who should drive the carriage. He fantasized how the child was being pulled between him and his wife until it fell to the ground and was run over by the carriage. At this point, he was consumed with such anger that he used the fan he was holding to hit his wife on the back. But the back of his fantasized wife turned out to be the Arahat's head. Upon being hit in the head by his nephew, Venerable Sangharakkhita turned around to look at his nephew and was then able to duck another blow. The Arahat knew that his nephew was daydreaming, so he said to his nephew, "Bhagineyyasangharakkhita, you did not hit your wife, but it was me that you hit. What is the matter?" It was then that Venerable Bhagineyyasangharakkhita returned to reality and felt shocked for having hit his uncle, who was also his preceptor. Moreover, his uncle knew exactly what he had been thinking. He felt so guilty that he ran away. Venerable Sangharakkhita told some young Buddhist monks and novice monks to go after his nephew and take him to see Sammasambuddha.
Having been taken to see Sammasambuddha, he was asked if it was true that he wished to disrobe. Venerable Bhagineyyasangharakkhita answered in the affirmative. Sammasambuddha asked him why he wished to commit such a grave offence. After all, he was a son of Sammasambuddha, who had on his own attained the path and fruit of Nibbana. As a Buddhist monk, he had the ability to be called a Sotapanna personage, a Sakadagami personage, an Anagami personage, or even an Arahat. What then was the purpose of disrobing? Venerable Bhagineyyasangharakkhita said that he wished to marry. But Sammasambuddha knew that there was more to the story, and so Venerable Bhagineyyasangharakkhita recounted the entire incident to Sammasambuddha. Sammasambuddha said to Venerable Bhagineyyasangharakkhita kindly how the mind was by its nature susceptible to emotions, and how he should instead be endeavouring to free himself from all mental defilements, namely greed, anger, and delusion. At the end of Sammasambuddha's teaching, Venerable Bhagineyyasangharakkhita was able to attain the fruit of Sotapanna.